Don't let time run out. These are the final days of Happy Honda Days at Team Honda. Don't miss your chance to save thousands during our biggest sale of the year and get clearance pricing on a huge selection of new Hondas. Hurry in now before time runs out at Team Honda on Segan Lane.
Is that the air guitar?
I'm no crazy.
Well, just typically normal crazy.
What?
But not so, I know.
Your mouth.
You made it real easy there. You make it real easy. We were just talking about, though, and I got to imagine the conversation that we were just having like 20 seconds ago is a conversation a lot of folks were having. Okay, what road can I take to get to where I need to be? I got to go up here, I got to go over there, I got to go. It's hopefully that's going to begin to change.
Yeah, if you're in the Gardner Lane area, we were talking about Burbank and Gardner Lane, and you need to get to the Baton Rouge Airport. It's a little hike, but this is the surefire way to not get backed up is go Blue Bonnet all the way past the Mall, Louisiana, past Women's Center for Wellness, go to Airline, hang a left on Airline, go all the way up to Plank. Sections of Plank have been closed, but they're starting to open that to get you to the airport.
That's
Harding's
good
open,
news.
Veterans Memorial.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you thinking maybe about the Atchafalaya Basin? I know there's so many roads that we're looking at right now
You
that
and
are
I were
iced
talking
over.
about that, Henry, off the air, and
that's questionable. Like
I don't know.
I honestly don't trust that. There's still so much ice on there, and it doesn't look like really much has been done. I would not be surprised if that's remained shut.
And God love them, DOT's trying so hard because it's such a fluid situation, but in their haste, they put that I-10 was open from I-49 to LA-415. Well, LA-415 is in Port Allen, and it's still temporarily closed.
Yeah.
So the Atchafalaya Basin is not open. These camera shots are excellent. They're from the 10-12 merge here in Baton Rouge. You can see a lot of the snow that we saw yesterday covering the roads gone.
Sure.
Bridge needs some help, though. A lot of these overpasses, like I-12 at Airline, needs some help. I-12 at the Drusilla Lane, Jefferson overpass.
That's a lot of different road rays. It's so weird to see at this hour, not a single car on this major thoroughfare. Yeah, it'd be normally a busy morning drive, but because of all the ice and the road conditions, 18-wheelers have had to pause their routes, which I know is a big deal. We saw a lot of jackknifed 18-wheelers over the last 48 hours,
Even one
too.
just outside of our studio. That was on Tuesday during the event.
Yeah.
Scary
and that's the
to see.
thing. I mean, you up North Dakota, obviously, and Chicago, and that's right, Beaumont.
Houston,
but there's a lot of we've all kind of
love
lived in those northern areas, and you get used to the equipment that they have to take care of this. And again, kudos to DOTD getting some help in from Arkansas, that kind of thing. Here's the reality: it's not about just having the equipment. You got to have enough of the equipment, and you got to have the pros and the know, and you've got to do this very actively. For example, when I was living in Wyoming or California or New Mexico, a snow event begins to happen like we had on Tuesday. The plows are out immediately.
Yep.
We don't have enough, even with the help from Arkansas, we don't have enough to plow during the snow event to make sure it does not pile up. That happened here. It's allowed to pile up because we don't have the gear or the equipment, and because of that, you don't get down to the base layer. They then can't bring in salt trucks to salt the ice, having the snow gone, meaning that then the salt actually gets to work, and you can allow the cars out there.
Yeah.
And as you know, the car traffic is actually what keeps those things from freezing in the first place.
Spreads.
So it's not just about having the equipment, it's having enough of the equipment, which we just don't. We have some, and they're working hard to make it work, and then getting out actively in the moment. They kept those priority routes open. Great job. Fantastic job.
They made sure the commercial vehicles had north, south, and east, west routes.
Yes.
A little bit longer, obviously.
It's going to take a
do
minute. It's going to take a minute.
Right.
They just don't. We don't have the gear to do what they do in those other locations.
And
And we have so many roads, like
We
you
really
said.
do.
Like we get one portion, they get one portion done, but then there's so much because I believe you said like portions of 12 are open, but then a vast majority remains closed. There's just so much that they need to do, and there's just not enough people to handle all of that at once like they do in some of the other states.
And they're prioritizing, to Matt's point, they're prioritizing the big roads, the medium roads, and the smaller stuff.
Right, and that's exactly how
now
it
we're
goes.
getting into the medium and small once the interstate gets open, and that may be later today. Parts of it still may be closed until tomorrow.
Well, a lot of the comments that I'm seeing on our social media pages are asking why are we emphasizing or overhyping this. We assure you it's not overhyping. That's why we put Matt Venezia in Titan 9 this morning to show you some of those stretches where it's not a surprise. Anywhere where you have that bridge and you've got a surface area under it, the sun's not able to hit that and melt some of that ice. So you're going to hit some patches. It's not going to look like it until you come up on it. I've seen some people this morning on my way to work speeding down parts of Burbank, parts of Highland, even parts of Nicholson, But you hit these small patches of ice, that's enough to throw you off to the side of the road, and that's why we've seen some of these abandoned vehicles too.
I was leaving work yesterday, and to your point, Liz, going too fast for conditions, I think I told you this, I was behind, no I wasn't, I was in front of, and then I was quickly behind a pickup truck pulling a trailer with a four-wheeler in it. And not only did this guy blow by a flashing red light, and by the way, there was a state trooper who I think just missed seeing this, blow by this. This is wrong Government Street, kind of near the Albertsons area. And no sooner did he do that, like another 15, 20 seconds later, fishtails. The trailer goes sideways, he goes sideways, he corrects it, but I'm like, that's why you're not, we're better than this. We don't know how to deal with some of this, so I don't know, go a little bit slower.
Please.
That's the best thing. I'm glad you mentioned Government Street, because initially when I finally turned on the Government from which route did I take this morning? To the Acadian. And Government way better than it was this time yesterday when we came to work. But like you mentioned, there are those spots like where the trees are hanging over Government Street. Rest of it looked fine, but as soon as it got to the trees, big patch of ice. And that's all it takes. You can do your 20. I wouldn't recommend doing too fast, but you can do. I was pushing 30. It was better than the 20 yesterday. But once I got underneath those trees, there's that ice patch, and you have to slow down.
Well, so these conditions here and everywhere, we're just not used to it down here. Speed is going to be the issue.
Right.
Exactly right.
Slower the better.
Especially during those turns when you get up on those intersections, especially like at four-way stops. Those are the worst because you have to stop. You may not get that traction when you're trying to accelerate, and then you go swerving, or even just making a simple right or left turn at an intersection. You got to take it slow. If you hit those brakes too hard, you're gonna slide. You just gotta go slow and just kind of inch your way.
And folks, if you're behind somebody that's going slow because they're not real comfortable, don't
tailgate them.
Relax, give them a wide berth, because
we
need to be patient with folks that are not as comfortable as others driving in that.
We got idiots out there. Just
there you
go. Okay, well, we should probably talk a little bit more about this forecast.
Have we talked about forecast enough?
We talked about the conditions.
We've been talking about this all week.
Yeah, but Henry, it's still cold outside. There's a reason why we're still seeing ice on the roads. The temperatures are below freezing.
Yeah, we're still below freezing. That's why that cold weather advisory is still in effect at the time. We are looking at our Skyline camera, brought to you by Our Lady of the Lake at the moment, and we are going to have our conditions a little bit milder today. Not by much, but at least better than what we had yesterday. So a first alert weather day still remains in place because we're still experiencing those hard freeze conditions this morning. Hopefully we can lift that up at least by the afternoon. We're finally falling down a couple of degrees in Baton Rouge, only at 22 right now, 20 degrees in Gonzales. The wind, thankfully, it is calm, no wind, so we don't have to worry about the wind chill right now. Here's your day planner, still below freezing at 9. After 10 o'clock, that's where we start to see mid-30s, and eventually during the afternoon, we'll be back into the 40s. Looking at the rest of the nation, remember yesterday, pretty much anyone from the Twin Cities, North Dakota, down through Dallas were warmer than Baton Rouge, but for the moment, it is the opposite for now. However, you'll notice Houston and Dallas still a little bit milder than us, but even them, they are still below freezing. But for today, expect mostly mid to upper 40s across the region. The snow is going to be gradually melting, but we'll get a real quick melt as we go into, let's say, more for Friday and especially for the weekend. Look at that. We're back in the 50s Saturday, 60s on Sunday and Monday. However, we are going to have another storm system pushing through, but not until Sunday, which means we're going to remain relatively clear for the rest of the day. Maybe a few clouds overnight, but Friday still looking to be sunny. But look what happens as we push into Saturday, especially the second half of the day. We start to see the clouds increase. Cold front's going to be pushing in from the west and north. Along with that, we get moisture from the Gulf, and that's going to bring chances of rain back to the viewing area as early as Sunday morning. But for Saturday, looking great. A little peek at your weekend forecast back in the 50s, but then we're in the 60s with rain chances for the second half of your weekend. As we take a look at the next 2 days, well, I should have had the 7-day up, but that's the wrong one. But to let you know, we are going to have rain chances Sunday, and then off and on through the following weekend. So, Johnny, it looks like we could be dealing with some places overall 3/4 of an inch to maybe 2 inches of rain in some spots. Not all at once, thankfully, but likely through the next few days. But you got a little bit of update on the roads. What's it looking like out there?
Still closed on major interstates here in the Baton Rouge area. We talked a lot about it, so I don't need to spend a lot of time here. Just show you a couple of quick shots. That's I-12 and I-10 into the Sunshine. The loop from 12 to 10, all of that's obviously still closed. There's I-10 from our Gordon McKernan camera, and we still have a lot of work to do on the bridge before that's open. Chaffalaa Basin and Bonnet-Carré Spillway to Lafayette and New Orleans, respectively, those are still closed. 7:13, our WAFB First Alert Weather Day continues here on 9 News Now. Liz and Matt, be right back after this.
Take it easy out there, South Louisiana. We're almost through all this.
Yeah,
Thawing out.
And I was telling you guys, Honey 30 just she was driving on the old bridge and said that it is really slick. She's going to end up staying in until they clear that up. So even though roads are open, Johnny, do you recommend they be out?
Not really, although some of the folks that have to go back to work today, some of the surface streets are a lot better.
There you go.
Please take it slow. Be careful out there. We're going to get you through it next couple of hours here on 9.
It's the final countdown for Toyotathon at Team Toyota. Don't miss your chance to get year-end savings on new 24 and 25 Tundras with 2.99% financing, or a new 25 Camry for just $329 a month. Hurry in and save at Team Toyota, I-12 at O'Neill.